Hello again, I am Blunty. This is, of course, the Switch Lite. Now, I haven't done a full review of it as I got mine a bit late to ride the launch wave, but I've been damn impressed with it. Solid build, great feel, sits surprisingly well in even my large man paws, and the slightly smaller screen even helps Switch games look even crisper than they do compared to my standard launch day Switch, while in their 720p handheld mode. My Switch Lite pretty much lives by my bedside, but charging it always feels a bit clumsy, sitting beside my bed, cable dangling gracelessly out of it. So I've been on the lookout for a compact charging stand, preferably something also travel-friendly and can double as a stand. And I found this little bugger on Amazon while poking around. It's labelled the IMW charging stand for Nintendo Switch and Switch Lite, and as the rather practical name suggests, it will work for both versions of the hardware, small and slightly smaller. It is a very simple design with an adjustable stand and a standard USB-C input for your existing charger to plug into, or indeed a backup battery bank if you're traveling. As I said, I wanted it for the Switch Lite and for travel, so I wasn't really interested in something with all the extra circuitry needed for the HDMI out and extra USB ports and such. Opening it up reveals a simple power distribution board only. No extra stuff, nothing to cause any issues with ongoing reliability, just a simple pass-through for USB power. I remember when third-party docks first started coming out, there was some concern that some of them would damage your Switch in some way or brick it, or not really sure how all of that wound out shaking down, but I haven't heard anything about that in a while. But like I said, this one just distributes power, does nothing else to the signal, so there is like zero chance of this doing any damage to your Switch. Build-wise, it feels nicely solid, fit and finish are good, no creaks or squeaks or poor fitting panel gaps. Aside from the circuitry, it is, of course, basically just a plastic construction, but it is decent plastic construction. The hinge, operating on a simple friction clutch mechanic, allows for a wide range of viewing angles with a lot of flexibility. It doesn't sort of click into place at some preset angles. You can set it to whatever you like within its range. And although this kind of hinge will gradually loosen and eventually perhaps fail over time as it sort of wears down the plastic after extensive use, for the asking price of $20, it feels like it'll easily last a few years of mindful use at least. So while it's not the best possible solution for a hinge like this, it does fill me with enough confidence to consider it good value for money. A pair of slightly grippy silicone pads help keep it from sliding around too much on smooth surfaces, and although I don't use one myself, there seems to be enough play in the docking to allow for something like a fitted silicone case if you use one for protection on your Switch, although I doubt the thicker plastic snap-on cases will work very well. When plugged in and docked, there's a subtle blue light, enough to let you know it's working and connected properly, but soft enough not to be a distraction, which is kind of important considering it's directly below the screen. I appreciate its all-over subtle design and low profile. It just gets the simple job done that I wanted to get done, and does so without making things more awkward or overly complicated. It's small enough to easily travel with, but sits nice and stably with either model of Switch docked. Basically, it's exactly what I was looking for. I've been using it for a little while now and am damn satisfied with it. And I suppose here endeth the review. Now, I wouldn't have even made a review of something as simple as this usually. I mean, it is just basically a dumb little dock. And indeed, I did purchase it for personal use, not to make a review out of. But I have had several requests recently for recommendations on third-party Switch docks, so being as satisfied as I am with this one for myself, I figured I may as well recommend it to you guys too. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.